Well, hey, and thanks for joining me for another episode of the Full Frontal Living podcast. I have decided that I'm going to try something new, and it may or may not resonate with you as a listener, and that's cool. You do what works for you. But I have learned in life and business that when we try and do things to make everybody else happy, we often don't make ourselves happy. And what's the point in doing things in life if ultimately we don't get to feel the way we want to feel? So I've been recording this podcast for, I don't know how many years now. And it really started out of a desire to be able to come and speak my mind and take as long as it took. Maybe I'll go this direction so I'm not walking into the wind. To say what it was that I wanted to say. At the time, I was on Instagram stories, and it was allowing me to do like really, really short clips. And it was frustrating because I had a lot of words that I wanted to get out, and there wasn't enough time to say everything that I wanted to say on Instagram stories. And it's still pretty true today, right? Instagram stories is meant to be short little blurbs. So I made the decision to start the podcast, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And when I started it, again, it was just giving myself a platform where I could talk about whatever I wanted to talk about, take as much time and space as I needed to talk about the things that wanted to come through me, and leave it at that. And that's what I've done. That's what I've done now for years. And we've had ups and downs with the podcast. We've had really awesome episodes, and I've had episodes that are like, meh, which is pretty much true for anything in life, right? Like, you don't hit a home run every single time. But I've really enjoyed recording this podcast. It allowed me to break through a lot of my perfectionist tendencies because this podcast has never been perfect. And it was never about that. It was about just being real. And again, sharing my stories, sharing my wisdom, inspiring you, allowing you to come behind the scenes of my own life in the hopes that you could make your own change and transformation in your life. I have done episodes with trains going by in the background while I grilled my chicken. I have done episodes walking on the dike with the wind blowing. I have done episodes in my car with the top down. I have done episodes everywhere. And over the past couple of years, as my business growed, as my business grew, I got more and more serious about the podcast and the message and who I was talking to and what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. And I love that. And in doing that, I also lost some of the magic of what I loved, which was just like hit record and talk about whatever needed to come through me without a lot of thought or intention, just trusting that whatever message I had to share was the message that needed to be shared. So that is what I would do. And long story short, we ended up moving towards shooting video for the podcast, which, if you're watching on YouTube, this is also on video. And that made things a little bit more complicated to me because it felt like, well, what does it mean I have to be on video now all the time? And I don't have a problem being on video. However, it does add another layer to the process if I'm shooting video. Like, as I'm walking and shooting this video, my shoulder is hurting because I'm having to hold my phone up versus just doing audio. And I wanted to be able to get out and get mobile again. Why am I sharing all of this? Things in life are never going to be perfect. And if you are running a business or you're a leader, maybe you've been told that you need to do things a certain way in order to be successful. But what if that's not true? What if it's not true? What if the way to be successful, what if the way to be a more powerful leader is having the courage to do things your way, break the rules, create new rules? Because guess what? There are really no rules. So when I said you may or may not like this, I understand that me being out for a walk when it's windy out does not produce pro level audio. I get that. And I would rather be out for a walk and have a little wind blowing and be able to share from my heart and speak the truth than trying to sit down in my studio when circumstances are perfect to try and deliver this clean, clear, crisp message. So that is why I am out for a walk. That is why I'm going to be doing my podcast more often in this way. And who knows, maybe in time I will switch back to more of being in studio with better quality audio. But for right now, this is what I need to feel good as I'm recording content for all of you. And I really hope if you're listening to this, you take this as a sign and your permission slip, not that you need one, but you take it as your permission slip to do business or life or parenting or whatever it is your way. Find what makes you happy. Look at all the areas of your life where maybe you're following the rules instead of asking yourself, like, what would happen if I didn't follow the rules? Maybe that's a great place to start. What would happen if you didn't follow the rules? So if I use the podcast as an example, what might happen? Well, I might lose listeners. All right, well, what's the worst part about that? Well, less downloads on the podcast. Okay. But when I really look at it, if somebody chooses to not listen to the podcast because I've chosen to record it in a much, we'll call it messier, real way, then are they really the right person for me anyways? Because if you are somebody who wants to come and work with me so that you can look more perfect or be more perfect, and you're not willing to lean into living life kind of on your own terms and breaking the rules, or at least questioning the rules, you're probably not going to be a good fit client for me. And maybe me doing this podcast in this way is triggering for you, because maybe you're somebody who lives your life always trying to kind of do things the right way, look the right way, act the right way, say the right things. So maybe it's really triggering to hear somebody doing something in a way that's like, wait a minute, we're not allowed to do that. So this is a really short episode today. I just kind of, like I said, I wanted to get out. I wanted to move my body. I wanted to feel the energy flowing through me. And I wanted to just have an opportunity to express what was on my mind and what was on my heart. It's been a really massive year of growth and transition and all the things in 2023, and now we're in 2024. As you already know, if you've been listening, I'm doing a lot of travel this year, and I want to be able to do my episodes from wherever I am, whenever the mood strikes me, instead of at a set time at my desk with my perfect backdrop. So, just a short and sweet episode this week. A reminder that you can do things imperfectly. You can just start and let the journey take you where the journey is going to take you. Never in a million years did I think I would still be doing this podcast. Gosh, I don't know, how many years have I been doing this for? I think I started in 2019 and now it's 2024. We've got hundreds of episodes. Never in a million years did I imagine. And my message has changed over the years, but the through line has always been the same. The through line has always been the same thing, right? Things we love and we value, we take care of, and you need to be your number one priority. And it's about coming home to what makes you really you. without all the perfectionism, without all the control, without all the trying to please everybody else, and then never feeling happy yourself. A whole bunch of different through lines. So anyways, that's a little recap of where we are at on the podcast. We are also going to be looking at rebranding the podcast in the coming months. So fancy new cover art and a new name. I'm going to keep that under wraps for now. But I just want to thank you for being a listener, for being here, for walking on literally and metaphorically on this journey with me as I grow and evolve. And I hope that you are growing and evolving alongside of me. So take some imperfect action today. Do one thing that makes you happy. Break the rules a little bit. Step outside of the box. There's so much more to life than what you probably believe is available to you. So until next time, take really great care of you, and I will catch you on the next episode.